Hello, welcome
Everyone.
to Under the Hood. This is our sixth episode now, and we just found out that we almost topped 20,000 views. So thank you very much.
500 away from.
Yeah, I
the
said
day.
when Corey and I started this, we thought it would be like 5 people just listening to us. We have a little change of scenery today because our office is having some renovations. So, we're going to talk today about illegal double brokering, which has really become quite a hot topic now, especially after Montgomery.
Yep.
You know, we talked about Montgomery on the last podcast. You know, the Supreme Court in the Montgomery decision against C.H. Robinson said they could be held liable for negligent hiring and of a carrier. And so basically what illegal double brokering would be C.H. Robinson gives it to Corey's Trucking. And then Corey's Trucking is supposed to be the carrier, but for whatever reason, they decide, well, hey, we're going to give it to Ed's Trucking Company. That is illegal double brokering. You can't double broker a load. It's not permitted. It's against the law. And so that is why, what we're going to be talking about today. And this happens all the time. And a lot of times, we see it in kind of the situation where you have, a broker like C.H. Robinson sends a load to a carrier that has both brokering authority and motor carrier authority, right? And so what they just then do is just flip the load to somebody else, and then a crash happens. And so that's kind of the traditional scenario that we see it. But we also, let Corey jump in, because we also see it in our Amazon cases as well. And one that we had last year, but where you have all these Amazon entities that are kind of flipping loads to each other all over the place.
Yeah, so we see it a lot in, like Ed just said, like an Amazon case where they broker the load to a carrier, and then that carrier, can't pick it up, doesn't want to, flips it to another carrier. When they get to the Amazon facility, there needs to be a way for Amazon to check to make sure the proper carrier is picking this up, right? Yeah. And, whether that be by scanning the license plate, checking the documentation, or quite simply just looking at the side of the truck.
Right? Well, we just, I just did a deposition today, right? Literally just did a deposition, and I said, Corey's carrier, here's the example. The carrier. On the bill of lading, it says Corey Suda Trucking is the carrier. All right. Well, then Corey Suda Trucking should show up to pick the load up. Literally today, the owner of this company is like, well, yeah, whoever shows up, as long as they have the right paperwork, they'll just, anybody could pick up the load. That's terrifying. Yeah. It's terrifying, right? No, it shouldn't just be anybody could pick up the load that has the paperwork. Somebody, if Corey's Trucking Company accepts the load, I don't know, Corey's Trucking Company should pick up the load, right? Could you, imagine like this, how ridiculous this sounds. Like if you I hire Corey's Plumbing, and Corey's Plumbing doesn't show up in my house, but like Joe's Plumbing, shows up in my house, and you have no idea who they are.
Joe might not even be a plumber.
Yeah, Joe might not even be a plumber. Like you would never let them in your house. You'd be like, wait a second. No. Hold on a second. Joe, Corey was supposed to be here for this job, not Joe. I don't know who you are. Get the hell off my property. Yeah. But for some reason in the trucking world, this is like perfectly acceptable. It's insane.
It's not perfectly acceptable, but they think it is. And I'm not sure why. The rules are there to make sure that the qualified carriers are taking these loads. And if you're just letting anyone take it, how do you know that this person even has a CDL?
Right.
That they're qualified.
They could be a terrorist. They could be a drug dealer. They could be anything, right? And so it's like, if you're not doing, by the way, there's a reason that the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration makes you put your name and DOT number on the side of the truck. not in the truck, not like under the truck, on the side of the truck, so that you could take 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes, actually probably
It's a quick glance.
30 seconds, take that number, punch it in, and make sure that that's the company that is actually on the bill of lading. And you would find out it's not. And so all this, like this double brokering, all this stuff could be easily eliminated. Easily.
Yeah, I mean, how do you know that the person that's picking up even has insurance?
Exactly.
I mean, can you tell Ed's passionate about this topic?
Oh God, it's because it's mind numbing. Like we have these, like we're in these depositions. We're like, oh yeah, that's just the way it goes. That's just the way it goes. Like that's just the trucking industry. I'm like, it shouldn't be that way. Like there's rules for this.
Yeah.
The reason that there's rules for it is so that it prevents unqualified carriers from hauling the load, and forcing the carriers that are actually accepting the load. I know, what a novel concept. Like the carrier that accepts the load is the carrier that actually transports the load. Wow. I mean, that's just wild.
Now, sometimes these carriers are doing it without, knowledge of the broker, right? Like the
Sometimes,
carriers are,
yeah.
Talking amongst themselves, like, hey, I'm too busy, can't pick up this load. Ed, can you pick up the load instead?
Yeah.
Which the broker might not be aware of, but when you go pick up the load,
The shipper better yeah.
know, right?
I
They
mean,
have the same information.
Right. So you get to the, and we always say like it's, so, let's say like, oh, we got props today. All right, cool. So here's what we can do. This is the shipper. This is the broker. This is the trucking company. And here's where, the load's gonna go. Right. So now the shipper calls the broker, this little plant, and says, I need to move this load. So then the broker says, all right, I'm going to hire Deer Park Trucking Company. Well, Deer Park then turns around and says, well, we can't do it. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to hire iPhone Trucking Company. So now there's a bill of lading, but the bill of lading says Deer Park is the carrier. Well, now iPhone shows up at the shipper with a bill of lading that says Deer Park is the company, but right on the side of the truck it says iPhone Trucking Company. And nobody at the shipper says, wait a second. Boy, maybe we should check this. Maybe we should figure out what's going on here, because I'm pretty sure we hired a different company to move the load.
That's just for safety too. Their load might get stolen.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
I can't even imagine like how many loads, do get stolen, every day, because nobody is checking, and they have,
it takes 30 seconds.
It literally takes 30 seconds. Like you would never do this in like the real world. Like you can't walk into a building these days without having like 47 different kinds of identification and getting your picture taken. You can't even get in an elevator in like a high-rise building, in a city, for God's sake.
You cannot. No,
Philly,
you need to show your ID.
But apparently, we want to just let anybody take a 80,000-pound tractor trailer and say, have at it. Let's go.
I don't understand it, because it is so simple, and it's something that the check can be done in a minute. Right. I just don't understand.
And half the time, again, we started doing this because we're talking to, we represent a lot of truckers, and, the truck drivers, they're listening. The brokers are telling them, hey, when you show up, make sure you tell them you're here to pick up on behalf of, Ed's company. And so, what's a truck driver going to do? He's going to be like, no. Okay. All right. I got this load. So, look, I don't really put a lot of fault on them. They need to follow the rules as well, but the system is it's designed to fail, right? It's designed right now so that nobody, the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing. That is the definition of negligent entrustment.
Yeah.
Like you're giving something to somebody that you don't know their background, you don't know their history, and you don't know whether they're safe or not. and it's a mechanism of death.
This also parlays kind of into the chameleon carrier stuff, right?
It does.
I mean, a lot of times these drivers, probably some of them may not even know what company they're working for at that specific time. If one company's closing, another one's opening, you're listening to the same person every time, right?
Right. They don't speak the language. I mean,
Right.
there's just a whole host of things. But yeah, Corey's 100% right. I mean, this kind of dovetails back into the whole chameleon carrier where, the drivers, they're just like being plucked from one truck to another truck, and they don't know. And these chameleon carriers, they don't care, right? I mean, their whole business model is in business one day, out of business the next day, flip it to another company,
Yep.
continue getting the loads. Doesn't matter. Safety is, it's not even on the list. When I say bottom of the list, it's not even, there isn't even a list, for these companies.
They don't know what safety is.
No,
they're
not.
just trying to
No.
get the loads, and that's why the rules are in place to try and prevent this. And a shipper could prevent it just by looking at the side of the truck.
Oh my God, yeah.
Right.
This is 100%, 100% preventable at the origin of destination,
Yeah.
which is where you're picking up the load. As Corey said, explain to them like what the license plate readers and all those things are.
Yeah, so most Amazon facilities now have like a license plate reader that will go to, it will scan the license plate when you come into the facility, and it should be associated with that DOT number,
Yeah.
right? Now, that wasn't always the case, and some may have it and just actually don't even care and don't even use
Right,
it or look
right.
at it. But, I mean, it's that simple. These license plate readers scan it, and it should pop up on the screen automatically, this license plate's associated with Deer Park Trucking and not Ed Ciarimboli Trucking.
Yeah. Why don't give them the load?
Right.
Or maybe there's a reason,
Question.
and
question
let's question it a little further, right? Or say, okay, hey, look, Deer Park was supposed to move it, but now Ed's Trucking Company is going to move it. Let's take 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Let's make sure that Ed's Trucking Company has the right authority.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make sure that Ed's Trucking Company doesn't have bad scores. Let's make sure that Ed's Trucking Company has the right insurance. I mean, all of this is literally publicly available, and you can look at it like that.
Well, and a shipper should be doing it, and broker, but I mean, the shipper should be doing it because number one, their load could get stolen. Right?
Yeah.
Number two, if the trucking company that's picking up doesn't have insurance or is a bad company, the shipper's now on the hook.
No question about it. Yeah, I mean,
So it's protecting the shipper as
oh,
well.
100%. 100%. I mean, shippers out there, like, look, if you don't want, here's some advice to shippers. If you don't want to get sued, then it's very easy. If a company shows up to pick up a load and it's not the company you hired, don't give it to them.
Yeah.
If you do, and there's a crash, you're going to get sued. So, I mean, you got these like Fortune 500 companies, all these like, big time lawyers that are, corporate lawyers. I don't know. Tell them very simply, if the company that you hired is not the company that picks up the load and there's a crash, you will get sued. So just have a policy that says
So easy.
we will not give any loads to companies that we did not hire.
And their information is on a document that we talked about called a bill of lading.
Yeah.
Right? And the bill of lading essentially just lists the shipper, the broker,
It has
lists the
to.
carrier.
It's all right
It's
there.
a legal document that is all on a piece of paper that the carrier has to have when they pick up the load.
If on the bill of lading where it says carrier does not match the side of the truck, you have a problem. It's that simple, right? And the shipper, they are literally being handed that bill of lading. A human being, or now maybe even AI, can look at it and be like, hey, this doesn't match up. Doesn't match up. What's going on here, right? Take that 5 minutes and see what's going on.
You're going to protect yourself. You're going to protect, your company. You're going to protect the public.
Yeah, how about this? You're not going to kill people,
Yeah.
right? I mean, let's always start with the premise, we don't kill people. And now, after Montgomery and all this, the brokering and double brokering, and now, the brokering lobby, instead of like investing money in safety and hiring safe, qualified companies, now they want to push through some legislation to have immunity for this. Why not just hire safe companies? If you hire a safe company, there's no crash. Nobody dies. Like,
I laugh, but it's really that simple.
I mean, shouldn't the goal be, the goal be 0 deaths? Like, isn't 1 death too much, right? And so start with that premise and then work from there.
And guess what? It's going to save them money.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, they're lobbying to pass this,
Yeah.
immunity. Just make it safer, and you're going to save yourself money on lawsuits.
I mean, just listen, there's so many very good companies out there that aggregate all this data. Carrier 411, Truck Stop, all these companies, like, use them. They're great companies. They go through all this stuff super quickly. They tell you what companies to hire. They tell you what companies are questionable. And if the company's questionable, here's the things that you should ask them about. And then they tell you, don't hire this company, right? It's pretty, it's pretty simple. And back to this, if you hire Corey's company to pick up your load and Corey's company doesn't show up,
if Bob's Plumbing is coming to pick up the load.
Bob's Plumbing is coming to pick up the load. Somebody should ask a damn question.
Don't let them in.
Somebody should ask a damn question. I mean, it's just like, I'm not kidding you. The guy today's like, nope, nobody checks anything. They're just too busy. Too busy? Too busy? It takes 30 seconds, right? 30 seconds to check it. And if, God forbid, they're like, well, wait a second, you're not the right company. We got to make a call. Hey, we need to readjust this, or we need to fix this, or we need to get the company that actually we hired here to pick up the load. What a wild idea that would be.
Crazy concept. Crazy concept.
It is a crazy concept.
I mean, I don't know what else we could say about
No.
that.
But we have, we have so many of these cases right now, and we keep. And I'll let you in on a little secret. This argument that is advanced by the trucking industry, that this is just the way it is, right? That this is just the industry, and this is how we roll, and this is what we do. People don't like it. I mean, we've tested this in focus groups and data surveys, and it is a very simple concept. The company that you hire to move the load should be the company that picks it up. And if it's not, you should ask some questions. And if you don't, and there's a crash, you're going to be on the hook, because you now have not done your due diligence. You haven't done anything to make sure that company that's picking up the load is a safe company.
Yeah, this isn't something we're just making up.
No.
Right? Like, we've tested this over how many cases?
Tons. And this whole thing, like, where the shippers and the brokers just like, just want to wash their hands of it. That is not what, that's not what the public thinks. It's not what the public wants.
It makes people mad.
It does. It does. And now, instead of, doing the things to make our roads safer, they would rather, their thought process is, well, we just want to have immunity for killing people. That's just, it's not right, right? I mean, our families are out on the roadway. Your families are out on the roadway. Their families are out on the roadway. Why not make it safer for everybody and strive for that goal of nobody should die? I mean, that's pretty simple. Right?
That's why the rules are there.
That's why the rules are there. And it's funny today, I literally said to this guy, I'm like, well, I mean, we have these rules for a reason, right? The rules are there for a reason. Identify this, make sure the right company's picking it up. I said, those rules are there for safety. He's like, well, yeah. But it's just, we just kind of do it. I'm like, just kind of do it. I don't want anybody driving an 80,000-pound tractor trailer just kind of doing it.
The biggest word on the rule books, the rule book is
safety. It is
Literally
safety.
The biggest word.
And they spell all these things out so that, everybody's playing from the same playbook, right? So that means whether you have one truck or 1,000 trucks, the rules are the same. They're not more difficult if you have 1,000 trucks. They're not less difficult if you have one truck. It's the same. And the reason that they're all the same is so that there's uniformity in the trucking industry all over the place. So that people in Maine can't double broker. People in California can't double broker because it's inherently dangerous. And the industry knows that. And that's why the rules and regulations are there to prevent all this, because they know that when you have double brokering, more likely than not, you're going to hire a company that is less safe. And as a result, those are the companies that are more likely to be involved in crashes.
Simple as that.
That's it.
Yep.
All right.
We were gonna bring a guest on, but Ed doesn't like to share the camera with
Well,
people, so,
yeah. No, we the couch. So we had the listen. Yeah, we were going to bring a guest on, but the reality is the couch is too small. The couch. It's a tiny little baby. It's a tiny little baby couch.
Yeah, that's why I'm sitting over here.
So as soon as we get the renovations done here, at our office, which, God willing, are going to be soon.
How long have they been going on now?
They've been going on a long time, and they need to come to an end. And we could move into back up into my office. Then we'll be able to have a guest again. But for now, you're stuck with me and Corey. But so thank you, everybody. This is always fun for us to be able to chop it up for a little bit. Thank you again, everybody, for watching. I'm Ed Ciarimboli, Corey Suda. If you have any questions, all the information's on there. Just throw the questions on. If you need us for anything, give us a call.
See you guys next month.
All right. Take care.
Bye.